Metal Hellsinger is an upcoming first-person shooter all about heavy metal and slaying demons in hell. Concepts as common in the genre as body armor and bunny hops. However, there is a twist to this demonic thrasher. You have to slay to the beat of the song. That's right, Metal Hellsinger is the latest game in the budding subgenre of the Rhythm FPS. This is a fairly new concept in the realm of first-person shooters, and while there are plenty of Rhythm FPS games on itch.io and some VR titles that fit the description, what's probably been the biggest example released thus far is 2020's BPM Bullets Per Minute, which received somewhat mixed reviews, although shed some good light on how a genre mashup such as this could work. And while it's hard to say whether or not the Rhythm FPS will take more of a foothold in the coming years, if this demo of Metal Hellsinger is any indication, the subgenre might stand a chance. Alright, here are the deets. Metal Hellsinger is set to be published by Funcom and is being developed by The Outsiders, a studio made up of former senior developers from DICE and Overkill, makers of the Battlefield series and Payday, respectively. The game was originally revealed in 2020, but gained more attention when it was among the titles featured in the 2021 Game Awards. Metal Hellsinger is slated for release on the PC as well as next-gen, at this point, current-gen consoles, PlayStation 5, and the Xbox Series family. The final game will feature a single-player campaign, challenge mode, as well as leaderboards. The full game promises to take the player through, to quote the devs, the otherworldly environments of 8 hells. However, for this short demo, we only get 2 levels, one of them being a tutorial. It's only a brief taste, but what's here does give us a good idea of what's in store for the full meal. Okay, so how exactly does a rhythm shooter work? Well, in terms of control, there's really nothing different. Metal Hellsinger plays as you would expect a movement-focused shooter to play, with all the speed and slam you'd hope for. Where the rhythm comes into play is that you have to time all your actions to the beat of the song. Time up your shots to when the arrows hit the edges of your crosshair, what the devs call beat matching, and you'll deal greater damage and earn more points. It's a system not all that different from BPMs. The more accurate you are, the more points earned and pain given, as well as fury gained. Fury is essentially a damage and score multiplier. Keep on the beat and fury goes up and up, with damage taken and offbeat shots lowering it. You can also keep fury up by timing your dodging to the beat, as well as generally enacting violence towards everything. The ultimate goal is to get the highest score, and Metal Hellsinger grades you in a plethora of categories, like how long you stayed at top fury, kills on the beat, headshots, you name it. And it's good they have those leaderboards working, because I can see this getting pretty competitive among the best players. Now, of course, since this is a rhythm game, a major driver of the gameplay is the soundtrack, and Metal Hellsinger is set to feature a variety of prominent metal artists, hailing from bands like Lamb of God, Arch Enemy, and Trivium. And just recently, it was announced that Serj Tankian of System of a Down fame is going to be lending one of his new songs to the game. The demo includes a couple tracks from the game, but the main one you'll be listening to most, featuring the vocals of Elisa White-Gluz of Arch Enemy, is a powerful epic ballad that would befit a vicious Viking charging into battle, or in our case, a tall-horned winged demon with an abundance of lead. But the cool thing about the music is that as you increase your fury multiplier, you're rewarded with more layers of the song. Times 4 you have the bass instrumentation, times 8 the guitars come in, and at max times 16 the vocals come in. A simple but neat trick to let you know you're making the gods of metal proud. So how does Metal Hellsinger play so far? Well, going into it, my initial fear was that adhering to a rhythmic structure might feel constrictive in a shooter such as this. But fortunately, from what I've played, I had a good sense of flow and freedom to my actions. And I think the devs did a good job incorporating the rhythm aspects into gameplay in a way that makes sense and feels good for a first-person shooter. Shooting and dashing to the beat quickly felt natural. I had a lot of enjoyment stringing together combos, and couldn't help but grin landing a split-second shotgun blast perfectly to the beat. Although, flip side of that, can't help but feel like an absolute doofus when I find myself horribly offbeat. The most satisfying thing about the demo were the moments of combat when I felt perfectly synced with the song, pulling off perfect shot after perfect shot, combo after combo, with wailing guitars surrounding me. I mean, a big part of what makes shooters like Doom Eternal and Dusk so much fun is how they have these big, crazy metal soundtracks that seem to perfectly complement the action. But here, the music complementing the action is literally what the game revolves around, and it's pretty awesome. The demo features a few pieces of what I hope will be a chunky arsenal. You start out with a basic sword and skull that shoots fire, who might also be the folksy narrator of the story.
You see, the whole universe has a rhythm. Well, it's kind of my pulse. And when I'm with her, we sort of become one.
The skull's name is Paz, but I prefer to call him Murray. Past that, you have a hunky shotgun named Persephone and a pair of pistols dubbed the Hounds. Both weapons so far feel solid. Some good oomph here, a steady fire rhythm. Oh, gotta have that. One cool thing is that each weapon in this game will feature its own special alternative fire that charges up during combat. The shotgun shoots a concentrated blast that can cut through multiple enemies, which is handy, but the pistols are my favorite thus far, spawning a double of yourself that essentially acts as a sentry turret. A very useful ability, especially for this level's end boss. If it's one thing that did bum me out a little in this demo is that it could only be played on what I assume is the game's normal difficulty. And sure, while this demo was fun, I can't say it put up the challenge that I typically prefer. I suppose that's not that big of a deal, but my big question going into the final game will be what the difficulty is like, and how much it's going to push me. Because one thing I like about both first-person shooters and rhythm games is the challenge of them, often the incredible challenge of them. In both, I enjoy the process of steadily improving my skills, getting your muscle memory down and really learning the ins and outs of the mechanics so you can keep increasing the difficulty to challenge yourself more but also accomplish more. And I see a lot of great potential for this game to be absolutely brutal. In a fun and fair way, of course. Does this game have a level in store where the combat challenge is overwhelming and the song tempo ludicrous? The kind of level that's gonna get me upright in my chair, glued to the monitor, and a little sweaty? Okay, maybe a lot of bit sweaty? I sure hope so, because challenge is ultimately the thing that will keep me hooked to this game. All in all, so far things are looking promising for Metal Hellsinger. I'm just eager to see more. For those of you who are itching to try this game out for yourself, I'm happy to say that this demo will be available in the upcoming Steam Next Fest, June 13th, so keep an eye out for that. Metal Hellsinger doesn't have a release date yet, but is set to launch in 2022, so when the full version drops, be sure to check back to this channel for my full critique. But enough of me. What are your thoughts on Metal Hellsinger? Be sure to let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications on future videos. It's a couple clicks for you and a massive help for this channel. Also, don't be shy, come say hi in the Kirk Collects Discord linked below, and maybe peek my affiliate links. I'm Kirk, and thank you for watching this video. Stay safe out there.